Okay, now let's start the topic again, the yield table. So in the previous session we have already discussed the definition, the basic definition of yield and yield table, and in that the one thing has been one statement has been made that basically it is made for the even aged trees. So the question has been raised by Ashwin that why this table are only made for the even aged trees. So let me explain you, and it's not so difficult to understand because see, if you have a even aged tree, then what will happen? We have all the relevant data, yeah, from the very first day. All this relevant data has been there, so that we can tabulate all this data. That is the only thing. And if we talk about this uneven age, why you are not doing for the uneven age? Because of all these difficulties. What the basic difficulty that we have to face? Why uneven age? Because we don't have any specific representative average age. Have you get that? This is the only difficulty that is involved while we're discussing with the uneven age, because there is no one representative average age that is available there. And because of that difficulty, we are avoiding to making yield table for this uneven age. And if you're talking about this even age, obviously since it is even age, so we have all this data, all these things, so is almost similar. So we have a one average age, the representative average that we're talking about, and because of that we are making yield table for even aged trees. It is have you get this, Ashwin? I hope nothing is clear, because see, if you go for this unevenness, it's different kind of phase, different kind of diameter we are able to get this. So very difficult to get this representation, which kind of species you have to take, which kind of trees you need to take, which is going to represent the whole stand. So that's why this yield table for uneven age has been avoided. And the main difficulty is unable to get the representative average age in uneven age trees. So this is the only difficulty that the forester are facing to make a yield table for uneven age. And then even age, the things is very simple, so that's why, right? So the definition has been already discussed in that particular class. So let us start with this some other the contents. So what the contents the yield table has, what the things you are able to get there. So the table, you are able to see that we have a main crop, right? Main crop, the thinning, final yield, accumulated yield of thinning, total yield, mean annual increment, and current annual increment. You are able to get that, right? And if you're going to subdivide it, so in the main crop, listen carefully, in the main crop you are able to get the average diameter, average height, then you get the total basal area, number of trees, stem timber form factor, you are able to get that, then standing volume, stem timber. So this kind of information you are able to get in the main crop section. If we talk about the thinning, so total volume and all these volume, stem timber, and this kind of related to thinning has been incorporated. Then final yield we have, right? Final yield is the total volume, again you are able to get that. Then accumulated yield of thinning. So almost same information you are able to get in all these sections, or whether it's accumulated yield of thinning or the total yield or mean annual increment and everything. In all this information that the content that you are able to see it here, from the main crop to current annual increment, right? You are able to get this total volume, you are able to get volume, stem timber, you are able to get the volume, total small wood, right? So this kind of information you are able to get in this content. So in any kind of yield table, these are the main content that you are able to get that. And all this information that I discussed in this content, all this, as I discussed in this main crop, all this information related to the crop or the thinning, right, has been classified into these two data. All this, again I am repeating the things, we have this kind of content. So all this content has been classified into this two data form. One is primary data, second is secondary data, right? So if you talk about the primary data, so primary data comprises of volume of main crop, then the thinning data, then accumulated yield of thinning, and final yield, that you are able to get in the primary data. Let me show you this again. You get this main crop, then thinning, then final yield. You are able to get that you are also able to get this accumulated yield there. Is it okay? So these kind of information you are able to get this in primary data. And if you talk about the secondary data, so secondary data basically includes this crop averages for diameter and height. Then we have the crop basal area, then you are able to get this form factor here, then you are able to get here MAI and CAI. Is it okay? In the secondary data, again I am repeating, these are the main content, and this all content is divided into two set of information. One is primary and second is secondary. So up to this, from main crop to total yield, is a primary information. Then if you talk about the mean annual and current annual, that is in the secondary data information. And apart from that, in secondary data information, we are able to get this crop average for diameter and height. Then you are also able to get this crop basal area, form factor. These are has to be included in secondary data. Have you get this? All of you have understand this primary data, secondary data, and what the things have been incorporated in this primary and secondary data? But what were the other students? And see, you just try to understand. Again I am repeating, you need to understand the things here, because see, this is a science, so you will get all this information in your this forest mensuration book also. Is it okay? So try to understand the facts only and try to understand the concept that is here. So all these contents has been segregated, divided into two information, primary and secondary data. And not only that, apart from that, see, despite your content has this specific information, and then also you are doing this primary and secondary data information. Apart from that, you also need to include some other additional information like top height. As you remember, the top height, as I have discussed in this, when I discussed this crop parameter, top height I have said, in the 250 trees you have to select one major tree and then you get the top height there, isn't it? So you have to write the information related to the top height also here. Then you have to also incorporate the information like number of trees per unit area by crop diameter and site quality. Then also you have to write this also you have to incorporate your stand table that I have already discussed with you, stand table. Then you have to also write the normal growing stock information there. Normal growing stock information you have studied in silviculture or not? Normal growing stock. If not, so in some other day I'll explain you, right? Not today itself. But I expect that people already studied that normal growing stock, NGS. Short form basically find that NGS has to be written over there. Fine. So these are the first data collection has to be made. So again I am briefing it. So first, this kind of data we need to main crop, thinning data, final yield data, accumulated yield data, total yield, mean annual increment, and current annual increment. This is the main content of yield table, or this kind of data need to be calculated. And again all this data has to be divided into two parts, primary and secondary data. And apart from that, what the other information that you have to write in a yield table is the top height, as told you, by the site quality and age, then normal growing stock, then number of trees per unit area by crop diameter and site quality. Then stand table information has to be written over there, and then you have to include this crop average for diameter and height, then crop basal area, form factor. All this information has to be written in the yield table itself. Is it okay? Now on the basis of all those data collection, all these methods, there are kinds of yield table, right? Kind of yield table. So there is two bases to make this kind of classification. So first is the grades of thinning adopted, and as I expect that you people already studied the thinning also in your silviculture, right? I also going to brief you about the thinning after finishing this. I'll also give you some briefing on that, no issue on that, right? but as I expect that you people already studied the thinning here. So based on the grades of thinning A, B, C, D, E, I hope you have already studied all this grading from the A to E. There's a kind of grading of thinning has to be there, that need to be adopted. So on the basis of those grading, there is two yield table, single yield and multiple yield table, right? And based on the information, other information apart from thinning you are getting, we have a two table, volume yield table and money yield table, right? Is it okay? So now first we need to understand the single yield table. So as I told you, this single yield table has been classified on the basis of grades of thinning, so here the parameter is only one grade of thinning. One, you have to select any one grade of thinning, and on the basis of that grade you are formulating a yield table. Listen carefully again. Basis is grading of thinning, right? This is the basis. So single yield, even the name suggests single yield table is there, so you have to take one parameter, and since it is a single, so only one grade you have to select, and on the basis of that grade of thinning you are able to form the yield table. And generally the C grade has to be selected to form the single yield table. C grade, as I told you, we have a grading from A to E. So for formulating, or so for making this single yield table, we have to select this C grade of thinning here itself, right? And if you talk about the multiple yield table, so obviously you have to take a different grade of thinning. See, single yield, only one grade of thinning is to be selected, and only generally, not only generally, C grade thinning has to be selected for single yield table. If you talk about the multiple yield table, so you can have a several grade of thinning you can select there. Is it okay? And what is the meaning of this multiple yield table? So it is a series of single yield table. Have you get that? Try to understand. Single yield table, one grade you have selected. Multiple yield table, different grading has to be made. It means the multiple yield table is a series of single yield table. Is it clear to all of you? Have you understand this concept here or not? Is there any doubt? If you have any question, if you are unable to understand anything? Okay, so no question from anyone. So, and now based on the information given, so I have a volume yield table and money yield table. So as the name suggests, you just look at here volume and money, right? So volume yield table basically consists, you can say that outturn. There is one term I have already discussed with you while discussing this volume table, outturn. Have you remembered that? Outturn, it means what is the output you are getting there. So when you are expressing yield table in terms of outturn only, outturn, that is volume yield table. Is it okay? And money yield table, as the name suggests, you look at the money means when you are expressing this outturn in terms of money. Have you get that? That is called money yield table. Again I am repeating, if you are talking about the volume yield table, when you are expressing the yield table in terms of outturn, it means what the output you are getting, and this money yield table is there, means when you are expressing the yield table where the outturn has been expressed in terms of money. Is it okay? That is money yield table. So this way one need to understand that. Is it okay? Have you get this, both volume yield table and money yield table? Or is there any question, or if some doubt if you will first ask? See, we have discussed these four things till so far. We have discussed the yield, we have discussed the yield table, we have discussed the content of yield table, then we have discussed this primary data and secondary data. Then on the basis of all those data we have this kind of yield table, and the basis of yield table is the grade of thinning and the information. So grade of thinning: single yield, multiple yield, and volume yield and money yield on the basis of information. Single yield means only one grade of thinning has to be selected, and then you are forming a yield table, and generally C grade has to be selected. Then multiple yield table: multiple yield is a series of single yield table, right? And in India, let me add one more information for that. And in India, only for Cedrus deodara multiple yield table has to be formed. Is it okay? In Indian condition I am discussing about. In India, only for this Cedrus deodara this multiple yield table has to be formed, otherwise generally the single yield table has to be formed there. And now if you on the information, if you have volume yield table, it means when you are expressing yield table in terms of outturn, and if the same outturn has been expressed in terms of money, so we have a money yield table here. So I hope now the thing is very clear to all of you, but still if you have any question, you people can ask a question without any ifs and buts. Oh, okay, so now we're moving to the next slide now. But before starting any, so is there any question? Is there any question up to this point? Anyone has any kind of doubt or some kind of question that you people have? Okay, now we have to have subdata. So how we will collect the data, isn't it? We have to make a primary data, we have to make the secondary data, how the data has to be collected. So we have written data will such table may be obtained from the permanent sample plot. Then we have a temporary sample plot, stem analysis. Stem analysis I have already explained you in the detail, right? And even this I have already told you, video has been already uploaded in the YouTube also, so as you people can see that to clear all your doubts related to the stem analysis or any other topic. I have already, most of the topic has been already uploaded by the college of related to the first menstruation. Is it okay? So here and this permanent temporary sample plot, as I remembered, this term is also have been discussed in remote sensing. So permanent sample plot means we have a sample plot for the long term, right, where all the data has been recorded on the periodic basis. Is it okay? And this permanent, and if you are using this permanent sample plot, so your data will be more reliable, right? And temporary, for the short term data you need to collect. If you short term, any kind of short term information or short term research work you have to run, then the temporary sample plot has to be made there. So whenever so as per your objective, when you have to make a yield table, then you are setting certain objectives there. So and on the basis of objective you can select permanent sample plot, temporary, and stem analysis. Permanent sample plot, as I told you, is a long term sample plot, right? You have to protect it, and it is a very costly affair also, right? Because it is a permanent, so you have to incur lots of cost to maintain that sample plot, to safeguard that sample plot. So it is bit costly, but the information that you are able to get from the permanent sample plot is effective, right? And you can even generalize this information from the permanent sample plot. But temporary sample plot, just for short objective, if we have within a certain time frame, then you can use this temporary sample plot. And also you are able to get data from the stem analysis there to incorporate in your yield table, right? And the stem analysis already explained in the previous 2 or 3 sessions. I have explained you how the process has to be done there. So we have to collect the data from all these plots and the analysis to incorporate in our yield table. Is it okay? Have you got that? Is there any question from anyone? If people can ask a question. Okay, so no question at all. So And now after that we have to discuss how to form the yield table, so that I'll discuss in the next session in detail, right? So but today, as I told you, brief discussion about the thinning has to be made, uh, because yeah, because the thinning is one of the basis for this formation of yield table. Is it okay? So as I told you, I think even in the slide I have missed to write one more grading, but there is one more grading that need to be written over there. There is a grading E, right? So the 5 grading of thinning has to be done there. And as I expect that you have studied the thinning, but as we all know that also, what is thinning? Thinning so basically is a selective removal of trees, isn't it? That is thinning, selective removal of trees. And what the purpose for thinning is there? So we also know that that the purpose for thinning is to improve the growth rate or the health of the remaining trees, isn't it? Right? So if you have to understand in a very clear sense, so if you have a field and you have initially, for example, you have 100-200 plants that you have already there, so after some time we have to be very selective. Selective means we have to remove some plant from the field itself to provide more space and to reduce the competition, right? So that the remaining tree will be able to get proper nutrients and the growth rate will becomes more there, isn't it? That's why the selective removal, and we have to have a selective. So how the selection has been done there, so that's why the grading has to be formed. So A, B, C, D is the grading, and through this grading we understand the selective removal, right? So start with the grade A. So grade A, it is called light thinning, isn't it? Light thinning, in which what the selection has to be done there. So here the removal of dead, dying, disease and suppressed tree has to be removed. Is it okay? Then if we talk about this moderate, that is B grade of thinning, there is moderate. It means further removal of the defective tree, right? Further removal of the defective tree, that is moderate thinning, is come in the grade B. Then you have go for the C. C is a heavy thinning, right? C is heavy thinning, right? In heavy thinning, what the things has to be done there? So in the heavy thinning, there is a further removal of the remaining dominated stem. Listen carefully. Further removal of the remaining dominated stem and defective co-dominants. Is it clear? And defective co-dominant, right? So in this C is a heavy thinning. If you go for this D is a very heavy thinning, right? In which what you have to do that in this D grade, that is very heavy thinning, some of the dominated, right? Some of the dominated tree has to be removed there, right? In this I'm just briefing you, right? You can get the details in your silviculture book also there. And finally this E, as the name suggests, E means extremely heavy thinning, right? Extremely heavy thinning, right? That has to be done in the crop, and the purpose for all this thinning is to reduce the competition and to enhance the growth condition for the remaining trees there. Is it okay? So today I like to discuss up to this point. In the next session we'll discuss how to make a yield table, what the parameter has to be written over there and what the steps that need to be used there to form a yield table. Is it okay? So up to this point, if you have any question, you people can ask here, right? Is there any question up to this point? Again I am briefing what the things has been discussed from the very first slide. We have discussed this basic definitions of yield and yield table, right? That is yield, volume or number of stems can be removed annually periodically. I have explained you. Then we have yield table. Then we have discussed the content. Then we have discussed this primary data and secondary data. We have already discussed the kind of yield table. We have discussed this data, from where we are able to get the data, and then we have discussed the brief over the thinning. So this is all about the basic information related to the yield table, and the next session we will discuss related to the yield table, how the yield table has to be formed there. So if up to this point, if you people have any question, you can ask.